Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Blackshirt Breakdown. My name is Steve Marik. I'm a staff writer at Inside Nebraska, and that is Jay Foreman, our resident NFL defender and our former NFL or Nebraska Blackshirt, I should say. Jay, first of all, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. And as we start to move along the process with the coaching staff and the recruiting class or re-recruiting class for Matt Rhule, time's starting to get exciting. You start to, have different names popped up, and we're gonna talk about a young gentleman here that brings a unique skill set to the university and multitude of sports. So I'm excited about it.
And that one gentleman is Brice Turner from Bay City, Texas. Brice Turner is he was a 0-star. He did not have any stars next to his name out of Bay City, Texas. He just got bumped up by rivals to a 3-star. And that's because he is Matt Rhule's very first scholarship commitment to the 2023 class. He is, I think, the second overall commitment because the very first one was Cole Ballard of Elkhorn South coming on over and pledging his saying he will play football at Nebraska as a preferred walk-on. But Jay, Brice Turner, just a little bit about him before we get into his Hudl highlights here. He's a track guy. So his track times are really, really impressive. In the 100-meter dash, he's been clocked at 10.25 seconds. So that's sub 11 seconds. Really good stuff. In the 200, he was clocked at 20.97 seconds. So look, this guy's a burner. And on Twitter, we've talked to him over at Rivals. Greg Smith did a really good kind of initial story on him. He plans to run track at Nebraska as well. And I think the Husker football staff has to give track coach Brenton Emanuel kind of a solid fist bump here, because I think Brenton Emanuel was a really big kind of key part in this whole recruitment for Brice Turner's skill sets getting over here at Nebraska.
Right. And see, it helps that Nebraska's track team is pretty well respected on a national level. So then that gives the football team almost that same type of credibility. And sometimes football coaches won't recruit another athlete that plays another sport. I like it for Matt Rhule and company to say, look, this is a guy that plays football, and he's really good at track. He's a really good athlete in general. And, the one thing I look for guys that are track guys that, play football is, do they play to the same speed or project to the same speed as they do in track? And he plays fast. You see, when you hear his times, you see it on the tape. And also I like from him is a short area quickness. So that overall athletic ability is really, really good, especially on the outside. Being 6'2", and I think he's listed at 165. For him, he has a big frame, big, long arms, long, powerful legs, obviously put on 10, 15 pounds, and he's ready to go. And he's a tough kid where he's made some in-traffic catches. Obviously, he can go deep on anybody, that he's faced in high school. And he brings a speed element that's legit, both on the track, track and field, but then also on the football field, which is obviously most important what we're talking about right now. So I like that Coach Rhule and the staff is keeping their options open. Very easily you can kind of get, secluded and only look at guys that only play football, do the 7-on-7, and then you miss out on a hidden gem like he potentially could be. And that's how he was able to do the same things down in Baylor, obviously through Texas and his connections to find players like this that can obviously work out and be program builders. And so you're thinking about a guy that's, also when you want to build a team of excellence or a team with higher standards, you don't ever hold back an athlete that's achieving that in another sport, because it'll flow over into what you're doing in the football, realm of things. And it only can be an addition to your team. And so it's not like he's off, in a Twinkie contest in the off season. He'll be running track, he'll be staying fast, and he'll still be doing his football activities as well. And I'm sure, Coach Rhule in the track program or the football program and track program will work hand in hand to do what's best for him. So it's beneficial for the track team, beneficial for the football team. But I think it's a really good commit. Second commit, to go with the first commit of Cole Ballard. I think it's two unique type of players. Both of them will be home runs if they, they just got to stay healthy. But both of them on the surface are two big gets for Coach Rhule and company.
Absolutely. So let's go into the film right now. So Jay, one thing that I noticed about Brice Turner here, he lines up a lot of different places.
Right.
There's highlights of him on the outside, in the slot, in the backfield. He's taken jet sweeps. He's taken just traditional handoffs, screens, double moves. I really like the double moves part because you can tell
Right.
that he kind of lulls the defense, the defender to sleep, gets them
Right.
going in the wrong direction, then boom, he's gone. And like you said, my favorite saying in football is if he's even, he's leaving.
Yeah.
That just kind of speaks with, that kind of speaks
Yeah.
with Brice Turner here.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you see his tape and he's doing a multitude of things, that lets you know he's a football player. And a lot of times with track guys, all you see is them running 9 routes. 9 routes is a go route. Now, this one happens to be a go route, but again, ability to track the deep ball and catch it in traffic. He's not 15, 20 yards behind the competition. He's able to track a deep ball. I like that he does a multitude of things, and therefore he's learning the game, not only his position, slot position, outside receiver to the boundary side, outside receiver to the field side, a little bit in the backfield. You like it that the coaches are using him in a multitude of places because he's their best athlete. But then also you like him to be able to perform at those different positions and show his capabilities to do multiple things. And so he's stepping into a football program, doing different things. And then therefore, as a young player, generally they don't know the whole playbook, right? So that, you have to kind of start them, small, then get the medium, and then to when they start to have success in the first two steps, then you give them the whole playbook. Well, for him, he's already step ahead of maybe somebody else that comes in because he's played so many different positions. He's done so many different things. He's ran different routes and he's had to do different things to be a dominant player. I think his playbook is expanded, or the potential to possibly, be an impact player earlier in his career is helped by his high school coaches and in the system that he ran to do multitude of things, doing different routes, and he can only get better, especially when he gets some one-on-one coaching and really focuses on, playing one position at a time versus line up, 2 or 3 positions. I think you're going to see him be really, really effective because as you see all his highlights, he's beating some press coverage. He's beating some zone coverage. He's getting off a jam right here. He's got good separation, good tracking. You like it that he high points the ball so you people out there, high points the ball. He's attacking the ball at the highest point of entry for him in traffic. So then therefore he's able to use that 6'2" legitimate frame. And you see right here, he's not a 6'2" guy. And then when you look on the tape, like, man, I bet when he shows up, he's 5'11". He's a legit 6'2" guy. He knows how to run after the catch. You like it that he's able to, outrun some angles that you see it right here. And he's a physical receiver as well. So he doesn't play like the quote unquote track guy where he's kind of, I hate to say it, like soft and only can do one thing. You like it that he's able to do some jet sweeps, some regular sweeps, run a little bit of double move. You saw him run a crossing route. So I think when Coach Rhule and staff, maybe Coach Satterfield, the offensive coordinator, when they're looking at this young man, he's saying like, man, we can do a multitude of things. We can do some different stuff. And, in the last one, Steve, we broke down South Carolina's offense, right? And we saw a lot of different formations, a lot of different route combinations. And what do we see for him? So now you're starting to see, like we talked about before, marrying up the recruits to potentially the offensive system and to what has worked in the past to see hopefully what can work in the future for Nebraska. So you see it, just in small bits and pieces right now because the staff isn't fully there, but you're starting to see in the athletes as we're able to watch this tape to see how it can really, fit into a Marcus Satterfield, a type of offense that, with Matt Rhule and what he did at Temple and Baylor, and then obviously with Satterfield coming from South Carolina. So I like it right there. You see a little bit of a smoke screen, a wide receiver screen, him to, get an explosive play out of there, doing different things. And, the timing of these routes is huge too. And the timing of this screen to read your blocks, set up your blocks. And so he does a really good job of that as well. So this isn't foreign to him to do a multitude of things. So when you're asking a young player to do different things, you like it. And right here, it's showing his toughness, right? Catch the ball.
Exactly. That's the one that I wanted to show you. He held on to the ball.
Right. Well, the biggest thing is he caught it with his hands, right? He knew the contact was coming. That's coming regardless. And you're playing down there, and he caught it with his hands and took a good lick and brought it into his body and secured it. So that's what you're seeing right there. You're seeing a player that can do multitude of things, and he's not just a big time athlete going out there and trying to be a prima donna. He wants the ball. You got to give his coaches credit that they're able to, find different ways to get him the ball. But if he didn't embrace all the different things that he was doing or was asked to do, we wouldn't be talking about him right now. So it's a credit to him as well to go from a 0-star to a 3-star. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard for me to believe that he's only a 3-star. But you know what? Their slow play on talent is our gain, and so I'm sure Matt Rhule and those guys were really excited to get him because he's an elite track runner, obviously elite football player, and has a ton of potential to get better. I'm assuming on the track as well. So everything is pointing in a positive direction with this commit here, because I think the long-term return on investment, or the return that you'll get on him, is his ceiling is a lot higher than somebody that's already kind of maxed out. The potential of him to be a really good player, of what you saw most recently at the college level, which would be at Baylor in Matt Rhule's system, or under Matt Rhule and obviously Satterfield down in South Carolina, is right up the alley of what we've seen recently and in the past from South Carolina's offense and Baylor as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And just, parting last words here. It just kind of fits. Brice Turner really fits what Matt Rhule showed at Baylor with the under-recruited guys, the hidden gems, right. Just like looking for the straight speed or the straight size or really anything that they could get on campus and then start turning them into football players once they get on campus. Rhule did that a lot with guys like James Lynch, Jalen Petrie, JT Woods, former Baylor Bears who all got drafted or currently on NFL teams. Who knows what the future holds with Brice Turner. But I think Nebraska's got a really good one, and just basically mold to kind of work with and turn into a really good receiver, running back, whatever they end up doing with him.
Yeah. And a lot of the guys you mentioned before came in on the same type of, under the radar. But what I really like is they watch the tape. As you watch this tape, you can see the potential, and then you see, you could project, this guy could be really, really good once we got, our hands on him, get him in the weight room, teach him how to run routes, work on a playbook or for his skill set to be effective early in his career. One of the biggest things that people don't really talk about is the transition from high school to college. It is how the coaching staff uses the first 12 to 15 months to get them acclimated, but then to get them confidence as well, right? There's a lot of talk where you break the guys down, but they don't talk about how you build them up. And part of, finding a niche for him early in his career to be successful at, whether it's in practice, scrimmages, and obviously hopefully in the games, is going to be huge. And then in year 2 and 3 and 4, you're like, man, this guy really, really improved. Well, it started with that first 12 to 15 month process. So it's going to be huge for him, but there's a ton of potential there, and they've done it before. So this isn't foreign to them. And I'm really excited what they can come up with.
Well, that should do it for this one. I think we got some good stuff. And Jay, maybe we'll do this again whenever some more commits start committing to Matt Rhule and his staff.
Yeah, I look forward to it, man. And look, we hopefully get some more coming in here, and we'll be able to break down maybe position groups and stuff like that after that staff is filled out and the recruiting class is almost full as well.
For sure. All right. For Steve Marik, that is Jay Foreman, and that was the Blackshirt Breakdown. Catch y'all later.